This is one of those stories where the last piece is getting placed into the puzzle, but we were all well aware of the puzzle picture already. It's more formality than revelation, but the picture is now complete. Yes, since deported supposed Maryland father, but actual Salvadoran illegal immigrant Kilmar Abrego Garcia was trafficking other illegal immigrants exactly as it looked when he was pulled over by Tennessee Highway Patrol in 2022, and exactly as the newly released body cam footage of that stop seemed like it shows.
You got a bunch of people in here, don't you?
It's 1%, yes.
And we know that understanding is correct because he's no longer Maryland father, actually. The transformation is now complete, and Maryland dad is just Salvadoran man, according to ABC's reporting from early April and now this week. Because yes, Kilmar Abrego Garcia was also a Maryland taxi driver, as some of the coming headlines may still attempt to put it euphemistically, but he wasn't just in our country illegally. He was breaking our laws beyond just his entry and presence, and he was personally profiting from it too, by helping others do the same. And the Tennessee police, who pulled Kilmar over in November 2022, knew that immediately. Yep, this guy is a human trafficker.
You know what you got here, right?
No.
He's hauling these people for money. You got an ass hauler, is what he's doing.
How could they tell so easily? Well, let's count the ways. Hey, why are so many non or barely English-speaking people, the driver plus 8 more, crammed into an old Chevy Silverado, apparently retrofitted for such a shady purpose?
How many rows have you got in here? 4?
Where?
4 seats? 4 rows of seats?
Yeah, it's three seats. Yeah, with him. Yeah.
Did y'all put an extra one in?
Huh?
Did y'all put another one in?
No.
Did it come like this?
Here's the truck.
I've never seen one with that many seats in it.
And with so many people traveling across the country, why didn't anybody pack anything?
They don't have any luggage in there, right?
Why is the driver's license suspended?
It's suspended?
It's suspended because I have my permanent employment, so like 2 years experience, so I need to. So right now I'm waiting the paper for migration.
Why doesn't anybody else in this truck have a driver's license at all?
Does anybody else have a driver's license?
Driver license?
Yeah. Nobody?
Only me, sir.
Why is it so difficult to find proof of insurance for this truck?
Can you find your insurance?
Si pueden buscar la insurance.
Your insurance? Can you find it?
I called my boss because I don't know where put the car.
Well, since that boss is so tough to reach, I guess it's a good thing he pays cash up front. $1,400 cash in an envelope that Kilmar was carrying at the time. Payment for what, though? Oh, just moving workers between cities. It's kind of hard to explain. My English not so good. You wouldn't understand.
What kind of work is it?
It's construction, like remuneration, payment, drywall, everything like that.
Where are you coming from?
From San Luis. Also, I work in San Luis. Next week, I'm going maybe tonight with the other project.
I thought you was going to Missouri.
The next project, I told you, the next project next week is everybody going to Nashville. The next project,
And maybe the most questionable part of all of it, despite all of these oddities and despite Tennessee police reaching the obvious and correct conclusion about what was going on, why wasn't Kilmar arrested right there on that roadside? Well, reportedly because Biden feds had no interest in detaining him. During the stop, one Tennessee highway patrolman suggested they could arrest him for his expired driver's license. It was a Maryland license that grants illegal immigrants like Kilmar the right to travel within that state, but that's not what Kilmar was doing, and the license wasn't even active anyway. And that still would have been an arrest that had to be transferred to federal authorities anyway. The Tennessee Highway Patrol says they contacted the FBI as part of this traffic stop, and the FBI not only didn't care about detaining Kilmar themselves, they actually instructed the Tennessee police to release Kilmar and all his unidentified passengers. And so Kilmar returned to his humble Maryland fatherhood. Every now and then, when he'd make stops at home during his life on the road otherwise, trafficking other illegal immigrants across the country. And that's no longer speculation or dot connecting, however numerous and closely collected those dots may be. We now have direct testimony to that effect because the Justice Department has achieved what Kilmar had so much trouble with that night in November 2022. They actually got a hold of his boss. The reporting that prompted that shift in terms from Maryland dad to Salvadoran man is the scoop that the Justice Department is now investigating that traffic stop, as ABC reports, perhaps to bring charges against Kilmar. But I think much of that is just formality. It's not like they're going to bring Kilmar back to be prosecuted here. He's Salvadoran. He's in Salvadoran prison. He will stay in Salvadoran prison where the Salvadoran president wants him. But this new investigation brings two things. One, it provides additional protection against such an improbable Kilmar return. If he is released in El Salvador and he does come back here, well, there's even stronger reason to deport him now. And two, just politically, it makes those coddling Kilmar or even taking taxpayer-funded trips to go meet him poolside for virgin margaritas look even more ridiculous. So what is this investigation? Well, that truck that Kilmar was driving during that traffic stop is a 2001 Chevy Silverado, and it was registered to his boss, a man called Jose Ramon Hernandez Reyes, and Reyes used to run the same sort of operation. In 2019, Reyes was pulled over riding shotgun in a car he rented and had another man driving, same idea. 9 people packed into this car, 8 of them illegal immigrants, including Reyes himself, who had been deported previously but returned. Reyes was arrested at that scene and later convicted in 2020 of human trafficking. Reyes told investigators he ran a transportation business called Trans Express. Sounds more like the drive-thru at a gender clinic, but that's what he called it. He said he tried to drive for Uber, but there was just too much competition, so he decided to become the Harriet Tubman of the illegal immigrant Underground Railroad. And he charged $350 a ride, but I guess just like an airline, checking a bag was extra. Reyes was sentenced to 18 months in prison, but was then deported instead and ordered not to return. Then he did return. Again. So now he's in federal prison in Alabama. So federal investigators gave him a visit recently and they said, "Hey, Jose, we noticed that truck that Kilmar was driving loaded down with 8 other people just like you used to do. We noticed that truck was registered to you. You know anything about that? Because, hey, if you do, we'll give you some immunity from any potential upcoming prosecution." And Reyes said, "See, Kilmar and I go way back. We met in 2015 and we've worked together on this human trafficking operation for a very long time." Reyes says he paid Kilmar to transport illegal immigrants from Texas to various locations throughout the country. So many different places that Kilmar couldn't even remember when he was trying to tell the cops. Even after Reyes' arrest, deportation, and imprisonment, Kilmar took over, and it was still the same deal. $350 a ride. And for whatever distrust we may have of Reyes, yes, he is a criminal with something to gain, so why would we believe anything he says at all? Well, his testimony is just confirmation of what we can already see, independent of what he says. The car was his. The cash was in an amount that breaks even with the payment rate. The Kilmar traffic stop was the exact same circumstance as the Reyes traffic stop 3 years prior. Hey, why are so many unidentified non-English speakers crammed into this car without any luggage? The question clearly is not, why is Reyes setting up Kilmar in this way? The question is, why is Reyes in prison and Kilmar isn't, or wasn't, after this incident, even though they both did the exact same thing. The only difference, of course, is who controlled the Justice Department when each man was caught. Reyes got Trump. Kilmar got Biden. Lucky draw. So when we keep hearing that Kilmar must have due process, well, kinda. The process of the prosecutions that never happened. Beating up his wife, never charged. Hauling other illegal immigrants across the country, never charged. And that's just what we know about. The only circumstance in which non-prosecution makes sense is swift deportation instead, which of course didn't happen either, until it finally did years later, and now the return of the wife-beating human smuggler to his own country of origin is somehow the great injustice of our time. And all of that on top of very little journalistic curiosity regardless. No evidence he's a violent man until they looked, and there is. No evidence of any criminal activity until they looked, and there is. That's the thing about a conviction. It requires bringing the charges in the first place. And that's the ironic thing about the entire Maryland father narrative. It presumes we even value fatherhood at all. But do we? What is fatherhood other than having something to protect? What is fatherhood other than defending against those who would encroach upon it? The factual claim of fatherhood has its own asterisk in this case. 2 of those kids in the sympathy pics aren't even his, and any claim that he cared for them anyway is seriously damaged by the reality that he was away from home so often running human smuggling ops. These kids were hoping that their dad just went out for a pack of cigarettes, actually. But it's not just the claim of fact that's fake. It's the philosophy behind it, too. It's the idea that we even value fatherhood culturally anyway. That is also fake, at least among the Kilmar superfans. Because if we actually valued fatherhood, we might take threats against our family a little more seriously. We might not cry when those threats are removed, and we might not justify ourselves with weakness. No, that wasn't a salted rim, but it may have been sugared. I wouldn't be able to tell you anyway, because I never tasted it. Wrong answer regardless, because the only proper way to handle a Kilmar bar encounter isn't over a mystery artisan cocktail. It's with a beer bottle, broken against the table and held straight to Kilmar's face. Metaphorically, of course, but just like this political one, I'm pretty sure that's a fight the senator would lose too. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate that thoughtful discussion down below, and especially over on X, that is at ML Christiansen. You're always welcome to coming out and chatting my live streams as live on Wednesday and Sunday nights. Looking forward to it. Goodbye. Hey, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, that means you probably found some value in the video. If you found some value in the video, please consider supporting my material. You can do that one time or recurring for as little as $1 a month. It not only helps me sustain, but it helps me pay the people who make my videos possible. Linked in the description for you, mattchristiansenmedia.com/support. Thanks for listening.